Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the annual and general special meeting of the shareholders of ZENN. It's obviously an interesting time, putting it politely, for the company, and we're going to talk about that at length. I think most of you know me. I'm Jim Kaufman. I'm chair of the board of directors of ZENN and have been interim CEO for what seems like a long interim time. But we will start with the formal part of the meeting and go through all of the procedures, and then I'll give you some remarks, and I'm sure there'll be some questions, and we'll try and answer them as fully as we can. Before I actually get into any of the formal proceedings, I do want to introduce to you some of the people who are here. I think most of you know Natasha van der Sluis, who's our CFO, and is now the CFO of eStore also. Next to Natasha is Jamin Patrick, who's flown up from Austin for the meeting, and as you know, Jamin has a great business track record, and we've been really lucky to have him help us, and has really led our transition team at eStore. Next to him is Roger Hammack, who is a director of ZENN and has become the chairman of eStore. But also in the audience, importantly sitting in the middle, is Tom Weir, who's here representing the Weir family. Tom, please stand up. We're thrilled to have you here, and he brings best wishes from Dick, who's busy working, but also recovering from his own health issues. So we're pleased to have Tom here. Sitting in the front row are three other directors who will formally introduce, but Alan Gregg, Stuart Summers, and the company's founder and vice chair, Ian Clifford. So with that, I will get into the non-exciting part of the meeting and take you through some of the formal parts. So bear with me as we get that done, and then I promise a full and vibrant discussion of the company, where it is, and where we think it's going. And then you can tell us where you think we're going. So thank you, and welcome to anyone who's watching on the web. So I'll now call the meeting to order. As I said, I'm chairman of the board. In such capacity, I shall act as chairman of the meeting, and Natasha, secretary of the company, shall act as secretary of the meeting. The first item of business will be the appointment of a scrutineer to report on the shareholders present in person and the number of shares represented in person or by proxy at the meeting or any adjournment thereof. Thank you, Mr. Kirsch, Mr. Clifford. All those in favor of the resolution, please so signify by raising your hand. Contrary, if any? Thank you. I declare the resolution carried. The notice calling this meeting has been delivered to all the shareholders and directors of the company and to the company's auditor under the notice and access procedures of the Canadian Securities Administrators, and there has been filed with me by the Secretary proof of service of the proxy-related materials mailed to shareholders in connection with the meeting. I direct that a copy of such proof of service be annexed to the minutes of this meeting as a schedule. I will now ask someone to move and someone to second a resolution dispensing with the reading of the notice calling the meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move the following resolution to resolve the reading of the notice of the meeting. Roger Hammack, I second the motion.
All those in favor of the resolution, please so signify by raising your hand. All those contrary, if any? I declare the resolution carried. I now wish to call upon the scrutineer to present his report. much. The scrutineer's report shows a quorum to be present, and I therefore declare the meeting to be regularly constituted. I direct that the report of the scrutineer be annexed to the minutes of the meeting as scheduled. Voting on the resolution to ratify the company's 10% rolling stock option plan shall be conducted by ballot. Voting on all other matters to be considered at this meeting will be held by a show of hands unless a shareholder demands a ballot. I now present to the meeting the statement of financial position and related financial statements of the company as at September 30, 2013. We'll, of course, talk a little bit more about our current situation, together with the report thereon of the auditors of the company to the shareholders. Copies of such documents have been publicly filed, and it is not proposed to read them to the meeting. Unless anyone objects, I will now ask someone move and someone second a resolution that the auditor's report on the financial statements of the company for the year ended September 30, 2013 be taken as read.
Mr. Chairman, I move the following resolution be resolved that the auditor's report of the financial statements of the company for the year ended September 30, 2013 be taken as read.
Thank you, Mr. Kershagan and Mr. Summers. All those in favor of the resolution, please so signify by raising your hand. Contrary, if any. I declare the resolution carried. It is now in order to proceed with the election of 5 directors to hold office for the ensuing year or until their successors are elected or appointed. Management has nominated and intends to vote proxies received by management for which authority to vote has been given to appoint, and if please stand, Ian Clifford, Alan Gregg, Roger Hammack, James Kaufman, and Stuart Summers as directors. As there have been no additional nominations in compliance with the company's advance notice bylaw, I would ask someone to move and someone to second an ordinary resolution approving the election of the 5 persons nominated as directors.
Mr. Chairman, I move the following resolution be resolved that the 5 persons nominated are hereby elected as directors of the company to hold office until the next annual meeting of shareholders or until their successors are elected or appointed.
All those in favor of the resolution, please signify by raising your hand. Contrary, if any. I declare that Ian Clifford, Alan Gregg, Roger Hammack, James Kaufman, and Stuart Summers have been duly elected as directors of the company to hold office until the next annual meeting of shareholders or until their successors are elected or appointed. The next item of business is the appointment of the auditors of the company and the authorization of the directors to fix the remuneration of such auditors. Management intends to vote proxies received by management for which authority to vote on the appointment of auditors has been given to appoint Collins Barrow, Toronto LLP, Chartered Accountants. I will now ask someone to move and someone to second a resolution appointing Collins Barrow, Chartered Accountants as auditors for the current year and authorizing the directors to fix their remuneration.
Mr. Chairman, I move the following resolution be resolved that Collins Barrow, Toronto LLP, Chartered Accountants are hereby appointed auditors of the company to hold office until the next annual meeting of shareholders and success remuneration fixed by the directors and the directors are hereby authorized to fix their remuneration.
Thank you again. All those in favor, please so signify by raising your hand. Contrary, if any. I declare that Collins Barrow, Chartered Accountants have been duly appointed auditors of the company to hold office until the next annual meeting of shareholders, and the directors have been duly authorized to fix their remuneration. The next item of business is to consider and, if thought fit, pass an ordinary resolution of shareholders ratifying the company's 10% rolling stock option plan as is required annually under the policy of the TSX Venture Exchange. A summary of the plan is contained in the management information circular provided to shareholders in respect of this meeting under the heading Special Matters to be Voted on, ZENN Stock Option Plan. To be effective, the resolution must be approved by at least a majority of the votes cast by shareholders on the matter. Details of this matter are more fully set forth in the management information circular under the heading Special Matters to be Voted on, ZENN Stock Option Plan. Are there any questions concerning this matter? I would ask someone to move and someone to second a resolution ratifying the 10% rolling stock option plan of the company.
Mr. Chairman, I move the following resolution resolved that the ordinary resolution of the company that has contained the 20 information circular of the company February 2020. I'll second.
Thank you. As previously indicated, voting on this matter shall be conducted by ballot. The scrutineer has has, upon registration, distributed ballots to those persons attending the meeting that are entitled to vote in this matter. And I would ask the scrutineer to collect those ballots and tabulate the results. And if anyone who needs a ballot hasn't received one, put your hand up. Thank you very much. The report of the scrutineer shows that 87.6% of the common shares voted in the matter have been voted in favor of the resolution, and 12.4% of the common shares have been voted against. I therefore declare that the 10% rolling stock option plan of the company has been ratified and confirmed. Before we get to the remarks, does anyone have, or in the question and answer, does anyone have any further business they would like to be considered during the formal part of the meeting? If there is no further business, may I have a motion to terminate the formal part of the meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the meeting terminate.
I so second.
Thank you for your up and down, Mr. Kirsch. All those in favor of the motion, please so signify by raising their hand. Contrary, if any. I declare the meeting terminated. Boy, we did that fast. That was good.